Hey guys, so we're back and now we're on the Critter format. So this is the format that comes after Yugi Kaiba. Personally, this is my favorite format because it feels like a very skillful Yu-Gi-Oh! With monster effects, which is not boring for many people who are turned off by Yugi Kaiba. The format is named Crater because of Sangan, because that's the Japanese name for Sangan. But yeah, let's get started. So yeah, Terramaster gets paper, so he gets to open for a game. So as you can see in my hand, I have Heavy Storm, so Heavy Storm is legal at 2 copies, which is interesting. So yeah, Terramaster starts with Pot of Greed, which gives him another advantage aside from the going first advantage. So he sets 2 cards and summons the legend. Now that is risky because Heavy Storm is in the game. So I activate Heavy Storm, but he has Solemn Judgment. So now I know that I'm playing one of these Solemn Judgment builds. So he's under 4,000, but he could protect his second back row. So yeah, I set Wall of Illusion, and I set Robin Goblin, and then I set Trap Hole just in case he had a Heavy Storm or a Pro set Heavy Storm. So I didn't want to go into that shenanigan. So I was very confident with my Wall of Illusion. However, he had Tribute to the Dune, discarding a Jirai Gumo, which is huge. Now it's interesting because this format has a few beaters. So we have Legend, which is the most standard beater, the best vanilla beater, followed by 7 Color Fish, which is a little bit less strong because it has less defense points. And then there's the argument whether Jirai Gumo, Dark Elf, or Muka Muka. So yeah, he summons into Mass Sorcerer, which is a really great card in this format because this card, along with Robin Goblin, which I have face down, and White Magical Hat, which no one has drawn yet, these are the cards that give you the advantage to win over your opponent. So this was a very clean play. He gets to attack twice and gets to draw because of Mass Sorcerer, so he's a little bit ahead. And now I draw into Dark Elf, and Dark Elf, you only pay 1,000 life points when you attack, while Jirai Gumo, you pay half your life points. So this one is better to play if you play Solemn Judgment, because you're paying a lot of life points, so you don't want Dark Elf and Solemn Judgment. But you don't mind Jirai Gumo because paying half your life points is not that bad. And it's also a coin flip. But yeah, I could summon Dark Elf, but I didn't want to risk a Trap Hole. So I just set Giant Soldier. I set a Trap Hole just in case because I feel like I'm probably gonna need the Trap Hole. And then I just rely on them attacking. So let's see what he does. He goes into battle phase, attacks into Giant Soldier, and I have a Robin Goblin ready for him. Unfortunately, I prematurely flipped the Giant Soldier, but he told me that he's thinking on the Goblin activation, and so he makes the another Solemn Judgment. So he pays half his life points, but he gets rid of the Goblin and doesn't lose a card from the hand. But that does leave him in 1,800 life points, which is very dangerous for him. So he uses Fisher on the main phase 2. So now I know I'm in a very dangerous spot. He switches to defense mode. So let's see what happens. So I draw into Magician of Faith, but I have enough life points, so I want to summon Dark Elf. And this is a moment where I prefer to have Dark Elf than Jiraigumo because I have a lot of life points. So Dark Elf is better in the early game, and Jiraigumo is better in the late game. But Jiraigumo beats over Dark Elf and everything else. So that's why I think Jiraigumo is a better choice to play, especially because a lot of people play Sullen Judgment. But yeah, let's see what Terramaster does. He activates Raigeki, interestingly. So he clears the board, and then he summons White Magical Hat. Now, if this card would have resolved, I could have lost the game, but thankfully I had Cardpool, so I'm only going to lose life points. Now we're almost even in life points, and we're completely even in card advantage. And now I top deck Raigeki, which is sweet because I activate Heavy Storm into Raigeki, and then I set Magician of Faith because my plan is to recover Raigeki next turn, or even Heavy Storm if he only sets. But yeah, he gets the Jiraigumo, and now this is a moment where you prefer Jiraigumo over Dark Elf. So yeah, he got the coin toss wrong, but it's just 900 life points. He attacks over Magician of Faith, and now unluckily that was a Magician of Faith, so I'm gonna get back my Raigeki. So he passes turn, and I only draw into Goblin, so if I draw into a monster I would have won. I guess I'm gonna have to wait a turn. I obviously use Raigeki. I'm not gonna let that stay alive because it has a huge attack stat, and I have only 25 life points. So I set Robbing. It's probably gonna be useless. He top decks into Thunder Dragon, and now Thunder Dragon is actually a +1 in card advantage, but it's an empty card advantage in the sense that it doesn't do anything on its own. At least in the gold format you can use it for Kill Sorcerer, but in Creator it's good for first of all for Robbing Goblin and White Magical Hat, so it's another card that you have to discard from your opponent. But it's also good for discarding for Magic Jammer, or what's the other card name, or Tribute to the Doom. But yeah, I draw into Sangin. Now I'm protecting my life points because there's no reason for me to be aggressive, especially because I don't know if he's playing walls. Like, I don't know what Terramaster is playing, because there's a lot of cards that are viable in this format. Like, if you see, like, I play Giant Soldier and Wall of Illusion, and you have to be very careful with Wall of Illusion because flipping into Magician of Faith and then recycling a Magician of Faith with your opponent's wall is very, very deadly. But yeah, I set Maneater Bug. Now, let's see what happens. He uses Heavy Storm on my only back row, which is fair, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. He ends turn. I have White Magical Hat, and I don't know what to do with it, so I just end my turn. And now he sets a third monster, and I draw into Dark Elf. Now this is one of the examples where you don't want Dark Elf, because I don't have that many life points. So I flip into Maneater Bug, thinking that the third set might be a Magician of Faith, but no, it was a Wish of the Black Forest. So I'm gonna pay the consequences of that flip. So he gets a Legend, and at this point I just set Hat just to bluff, or just to have enough monsters to protect myself. And I know that if he has a Raigeki, which he doesn't, thankfully, I can lose. But yeah, let's see what happens. He summons Legend, and so yeah, he attacks into Maneater Bug. I lose life points, but I'm still in the game. Now I draw into another Witch, and I'm just gonna set it. I have two Searchers ready and one bluffed White Magical Hat, so I'm very confident unless he has a dark hole, which can end the game right there, right? And interestingly, he hasn't flipped his face down monsters. I think many of you can guess already what those are, but just for the sake of the video, I'm going to pretend that I don't know what they are. And he sets a face down. So I top deck Interchange of Art, and my logic is, if he hasn't flipped his face downs, those can't possibly be Magician of Faith. So I'm going to make a play to steal the last monster that he sets, and yep, it's a Magician of Faith. So that's very good because I use Raigeki and I destroy his face downs, and then I just flip my monsters and then attack for game. Interestingly, he had 2 Massive Darkness, which he could have flipped to get Sullen Judgment, and then he could have tributed the Massive Darkness to summon Thunder Dragon if he didn't want to lose the game, because he has Sullen Judgment. So that would have protected him, right? So I don't understand why Terra didn't flip the Massive Darkness in order to get the Sullen Judgment and then protect yourself. So yeah, maybe a misplay from Terramaster. But yeah, there's always game 2 and game 3. So yeah, Terramaster goes first again. And now you can see one of my spicy side decks, because I know that he plays Sullen Judgment and that he pays a lot of life points. So Cannon Soldier can be really good to steal games. So let's see what happens. He sets. I set a monster, and then I just set a trap hole. Just to protect myself from whatever's coming. And here's the legend, and then I respond with trap hole. So that was a good target for trap hole, other than Jirai Gubo or Summon Skull, if they even play it. Because I see some people playing Summon Skull, to be fair. Now I top deck into Pot of Greed, so I'm going to use Heavy Storm. Let's see if he lets me resolve. He doesn't. He pays half his life points, which is really good for Cannon Soldier, because you can see now that he's going to make my job easier. So I activate Pot of Greed, and as you can see, Trapmaster is a better card to play in Critter format because of Robin Goblin and because of Sullen Judgment. And yeah, so I draw into Sullen Judgment of my own. This was part of my side deck. But yeah, I go aggressive, summon the Jin, flip Witch, but I didn't ask for response again, so that was my bad. So yeah, he trap holes into Legend. I go back to my main phase, and at this point I'm like, okay, he already saw Witch. I'm just gonna attack. Maybe he has a Sangan, maybe he has a Witch. Like, that's the standard sets. So I'm just gonna attack. I did take a huge risk by setting 2 and making myself susceptible to Heavy Storm. But yeah, I lose 100 life points, and then I just end my turn. So he sets another monster, and at this point, I wish I had a stronger body, but I'm gonna have to go with Cannon Soldier. So yeah. Cannon Soldier attack Witch. So I know that my Witch can't get over it. And my Witch goes, attacks into the defense mode monster. But it was another Witch, so I'm gonna have to wait. So I go into main phase 2, and my logic is that if I lose my Cannon Soldier, I don't want to have to wait for my opponent to kill Witch for me to search something valuable. I want to search for something valuable now. And I also want to inflict damage now because Cannon Soldier is cool, so I wanted to use it. But yeah, I set another card. I'm very confident. If he uses Heavy Storm, I have Solemn to stop it, so I'm very okay with that. And let's see what he does. So he activates Tribute to the Doom, discarding a Robin Goblin. And this is my strongest body. Plus, I saw that he had a White Magical Hat added because I attack Witch. So I need to protect my life points because I don't have Mirror Force nor Trap Hole. So I use Solemn Judgment to protect my Cannon Soldier. And he sets a monster and ends his turn. Now, I had Jirai Gumo, which is huge, but I top deck into Monster Reborn. And that's gonna be real bad because now I have access to summoning one normal summon for a 22, and then one special summon for an 18 monster. Now, not only that, but I know that he has a Witch, which Cannon Soldier can get over. So I'm going to attack with Cannon Soldier. So he adds a Legend. And now my Legend is going to attack the face down. So it's a Magician of Faith. Gets a Tribute to the Doom. But I can still get into Jirai Gumo and attack. And I should have used my Robin Goblin. I guess I didn't, but yeah, and I miscalled the points, so I lose half my life points. But I should have used Robin Goblin just in case, but it doesn't really matter, right? Because main phase 2, sacrifice Legend, sacrifice Jirai Gumo, inflict 1000, but then I sacrifice my own Cannon Soldier, which is possible, and that's gonna be game. So yeah, I reveal my back row, and then he shows me that he had Raigeki. So I think when he saw me protect Cannon Soldier with Solemn Judgment, I think he should have used Raigeki. I think that was the message that I couldn't afford losing my Cannon Soldier and then getting a White Magical Hat. So he should have used it, because imagine him discarding my Jirai Gumo. Like, the game would have been way different. And then next turn he could have said Magician of Faith to get the Raigeki. So yeah, a little bit of a misplay, but that's fine. Still a great match, and still a showcase of two different decks. My deck is more oriented to spare the life points in game 1, and then in game 2 I can side into the Solemn Judgment package. So I side out Dark Elf and I side out some other cards so that I could fit my Solemn Judgment and then my Jirai Gumo. But yeah, so that's it. I win the match. So yeah, I'm going to be posting the deck list, and if you notice my deck list, it's called Dark Beatdown, because another reason I play Dark Elf, and it's a very spicy and personal reason. I'm not saying it's a very good reason, but it's because I play Witch's Apprentice, which I didn't draw into the game, but I do side deck into Witch's Apprentice, so it boosts the attack from Dark Elf, also from Sangan, Wish of the Black Forest, and Lajin, and even Mass Sorcerer. But yeah, it didn't came up, but you're gonna see it in my deck list. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and then next video is gonna be Magic Ruler, so it's gonna come up anytime next week. But yeah, thank you for watching, stay tuned, and take care.